Hello and welcome to the UJ Lucky Star Cooking Show. UJ What's Cooking? The University of Johannesburg has partnered with Lucky Star, South Africa's most iconic brand, to bring you the best way to cook better, affordable and delicious meals. This show is organized under the UJ Healthy Campus Program banner, which aims to enhance all aspects of well-being for students and the campus communities at large. Looking to reverse the well-established trend of young adults compromising their health during their academic careers, this initiative is already having a positive impact on the lives and lifestyles of university students around the world. In this series of our UJ Lucky Star Cooking Show with the UJ School of Tourism and Hospitality, as well as the Center for Ecological Intelligence, we will have meaningful conversations that leave you inspired. The products we use offer various flavors, from the zesty hot chili and peri-peri to tangy sweet chili and tomato sauce for a homely, aromatic, delicious meal. This is UJTV. This Global Healthy Campus program, universities shall provide, among others, sustainable food and nutrition catering services and meals that are appropriate for the campus communities. The program also encourages universities to provide nutrition counseling to the campus communities. In today's episode, we have Mr. Mzwakhe Matukane, the Senior Director of the UJ Revenue Administration and Comrades Marathon runner, right here at the great University of Johannesburg. As a Senior Director for Revenue and Institutional Fundraising, he is part of the executive leadership group of the university. He is also a member of the South African Institute for Professional Accountants. Mr. Matukane is responsible for providing visionary leadership and strategic direction for revenue and fundraising initiatives here at UJ. His hands-on approach to working with internal and external stakeholders, high net worth individuals and alumni in the development office resulted in numerous successes for the university. Having worked in the finance environment over 15 years, Mr. Matukane has a proven track record on annual budgets, fundraising, financial reporting, risk management and compliance, audits, project management and HR management. We all eat, and with food comes meaningful conversations to connect. Food is a powerful social connector. It brings people together and shaping cultural norms through shared meals and traditions. Food plays a significant role in building relationships, strengthening communities, and even impacting individual well-being. So, we're gonna have a conversation with our guest, and I hope that you will be inspired. Chef Thando Ntsele, right? You have been with us in the past few episodes, and now you are joining us for another one with Mr. Matukane right here. Are you feeling good today? Are you ready for us?
Ready.
Ready. Okay, and what's on the menu today?
So today's menu we have our veggie pilchard stir fry.
So we're doing a stir fry.
Yes,
Okay.
we're doing a stir fry using our Lucky Star products, our peri-peri pilchards.
So what's the first thing that we have to do? Wash our hands, of course. Sen, welcome to UJ What's Cooking.
Good day, Colin. Thanks for inviting me in a cooking show.
Yes. Quite an unfamiliar environment for you, a familiar one.
Exactly, unfamiliar.
Unfamiliar. So that tells me you don't cook a lot.
Yeah,
It's
not
good.
a lot.
Yeah,
not a lot, but I do cook.
Yeah. For somebody that is, I would say you're a genius. I mean, you've done a lot of things. You achieved your accounting qualification, your diploma. That's the first qualification you got. You went on to do your BTech in the same course, excelled in that, and then you went even further to do your master's degree in business management. Please tell us what inspired you to go into that commercial sector.
Yeah, no, thanks for that. Look, I come from villages, right? And as we grow up, you know, we take motivations from a lot of people who came before us. And for me, as I was growing up, I was exposed. My father used to be a bookkeeper. And I will usually visit him here in Joburg, and I will see him doing his books and all that. And then I started developing interest in bookkeeping, which is now we call accounting. Then I spoke to him to say that, look, when I pass matric, I think I want to pursue the commerce space, and that's what I started doing. I started doing, as you've indicated, I've done my diploma with UNISA. Went to do my BTech. I've done a postgraduate diploma in accounting science, and then I moved to a master's program that I completed with the great University of Johannesburg, and I'm currently pursuing my PhD with the University of Johannesburg as well. So yeah,
that's inspiring.
Yeah.
People from villages, like you say, you come from a village. We grow up looking up to other people who have done well in the community. You grow up. There's a lawyer there, there's a doctor there are teachers, there's a policeman, there's a nurse.
Yeah.
Those are the careers that sort of shaped our choices that we made. Was there any of that besides your father, of course, working in bookkeeping?
Yeah.
Was there any of those kind of people in your community there?
Yeah. Look, fortunately, we had a teacher, a mathematics teacher, who was really, really helpful in terms of encouraging us to say, there's not only teaching or doctor that is available. You've got a lot of opportunities that you can do. His surname was Mr. Nkwashu. And he started giving us different options in terms of what you can do and what are the requirements, to an extent of bringing all those application forms from the universities to say, if you really, really want to pursue this is the route that you can
high school teacher.
The high school teacher, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah. So then you obviously went on to do your accounting. You got your postgraduate studies, went on to do your masters, and then you came to UJ as one of the young executives. When you started working here, you served under the former Vice Chancellor and Principal, Prof. Aaron Rensbeck.
Yeah.
When I saw you amongst the executives at UJ, when we go to the campus engagements and other events, you were probably one of the youngest people at the time. What did that do to you? Did it inspire you to say, I can even go even further and achieve more? Or what do you think the leadership of the university saw in you that we can trust him with this kind of the role that you had at the time, which was student finance?
Yeah, thanks for that. So I've got a bit of history with the university. I think quite a number of people only knew me when I became part of the executive leadership group. But I started here at UJ in 2009 as an accountant. And it's a role that I have occupied for about 2 years. And then after that, I got another role, which was a manager. And 2 years, so I've always been moving every 2 years to another role, to the senior manager. And then 2014, I was appointed as the director for student finance. And then after that, I think 3 years later, 2017, 2018, where I was appointed as the senior director for revenue administration as well. And in that role, basically I'm responsible for 2 departments, which is student finance and institutional fundraising, but I'll talk about that. Yeah. But your question specifically in terms of what UJ saw in me as well. I think one of the things that I credit UJ on is the ability to spot hardworking people and skillful people, if I can say, as well.
Discipline as well.
And discipline as well. And as I was climbing the ladder, there's always been motivation and encouragement, taking us to the relevant courses just to develop us in terms of managerial and leadership skills as well. And where they saw that there's a potential for this person to become a manager in those instances, then they start having a targeted approach to say, let's grow this individual. And I grew, and in those times, as you'll recall, that there were a lot of executive leadership group employees who was really there for a lot of us in terms of help that we needed and so forth. Yeah. And that's how I became the senior director, and here we are now.
Yeah. And obviously to be in that role and excel, it means you mentioned that you have to be empowered, and you must continue to upskill yourself as well. You went on to do the global development program with GIBS, what is called the Gordon Institute of Business Sciences. How important is it for people to keep honing their skills and redeveloping themselves if they really need to excel in what they do?
It's very, very important. There's emerging trends as a leader that we need to familiarize ourselves with. And for you to familiarize yourself, you need academics who are in the space, who are on a daily basis, are researching based on what is leadership, what is digital transformation, what is innovation, what is strategy, risk management, and so forth. So in one of my discussions with the line manager was that, look, my portfolio is getting bigger. I started by managing about 8 people, and it grew to 52 staff members that I had to look after. And when you lead or when you manage, you really have to deal with personal characters. You have to understand your individuals. You have to understand, how do I lead? How do they see me as this ethical leader, as this transparent person? And then one of the courses that we identified is the course that you've mentioned, the Global Executive Leadership Program, to say, perhaps let's send you to the program and then see how you can grow in that. And I can tell you now that the program has really, really assisted ethical leadership, digital transformation, what are the emerging trends in terms of technology, innovation, risk management. Any leader needs to understand risk management in this current era as well. Yeah. So it really, really assisted. I still have study guides from that program that I did in 2022, where I get stuck, I go back to the books and read. Yeah.
So I would say you are very adaptable, right? Because you served under 3 vice chancellors. You still continue to serve under the great leadership of Professor Mbedi. You were here under Prof. Rensbeck, you were here under Prof. Marwala, and you're still here under Prof. Mbedi. That means you're doing something great. Now, I want you to tell us about the bigger scheme of things when it comes to student finance. What are the things that you deal with, or your division, your portfolio deals with when it comes to the university? We know that student finance can be a very challenging thing, especially at the beginning of the year when students have to get into the university. Some of them don't have the funds to pay for their studies, and you have to deal with retaining students who have debt and couldn't get their results. Then they have to sign what we call the AODs, or the acknowledgement of debt. Yeah. In the bigger scheme of things, your role, what are the things that you're addressing here?
Yeah. So one of the bigger or the important role that we play, there's a lot of discussion around the financial sustainability of universities. And what we have done as a department on our side is to make sure that the university's cash flow is always up to standard. And how do we do that? We are in a department that collects revenue, be it from NSFAS, be it from the bursary sponsors, or the self-funded students as well. Without us collecting those fees, the university is basically not able to pay it, to function and pay its day-to-day expenses and so forth. Therefore, the department is quite critical. During registration period, the academic registration, each and every 52,000 students that registers with the university has to pass through student finance for unblocking of their registration to enable them to go and register and so forth. But the more critical function that we perform is to make sure that the cash flow of the university is always positive by us going to do that collection, collecting from NSFAS, from bursaries as well. And I guess one of the challenges that we are facing, it's the shortfall in student funding. And that is a sectoral problem, if I may put it that way, to say there's a lot of students who are performing academically. They are performing well academically. But as a result of financial circumstances, they are not able to come back and register as well. As the university, we do understand that that situation does exist in the communities. And the university has put a lot in terms of making sure that those students who are not able to register, they have to sign an acknowledgement of debt to pay at least 50% to allow them to register. Student finance is responsible for that function as well, to make sure that we register those students. And we also do fundraising for some of these students who are performing well, to say that if you are performing well, we will go out there and try and get funding for you so that you're able to continue to study and complete your qualification as well. So the role is quite big. In a sense.
It's a huge undertaking. Yeah. Well, the UJ story when it comes to student finance is that earlier on, when the university was founded in 2005, maybe up to say 2010 or just after 2010, the majority of the students were students who were paying themselves. There wasn't much, a bigger pool of the students funded by NSFAS. And over the years, that has sort of transformed. You've got a larger number of students being funded by NSFAS, and the ones that are self-funded, the number is sort of diminishing or becoming even smaller. Yeah. That obviously comes with the challenges of NSFAS not paying certain funds or allowances on time. Students can't register because they still need to go through NSFAS processes, etc. How do you deal with those kind of challenges?
Yeah, so and I'm glad you mentioned the changes in terms of the student profile. So, Colin, when I took over in 2014 as a director, we only had about 10,000 students who were funded by NSFAS at UJ. Fast forward to 2021, we were sitting with 22,000 students who were funded by NSFAS. And for us, we were quite deliberate in terms of what we wanted. We wanted to push the NSFAS numbers up and reduce the self-funded students, because as you know, NSFAS funding is almost guaranteed to the universities, meaning that if a student is funded, we are likely to get money from NSFAS paying for those students and all that. So we wanted to move the risk from the self-funded students and get more students that are funded as well. The same that we did with bursaries as well, just to make sure that a number of those students get funded by those donors. In a sense, then you change the profile of the students that we have. As we sit now, almost 60% of our undergraduate students are on NSFAS, right? And then you have 12% that are funded by sponsors. This is corporate now. It can be your ESCOM, your GCRA, your MTN. They fall into that category. And the aim going forward is to continue to reduce that self-funded students by placing them in those funding pockets that we have, be it internal funding and external funding as well. So that's where the strategic direction is going from the university side. And we are doing that to make sure that the university remains financially sustainable and we have less student debt write-off at the end of each and every year.
Yeah. So I'm a student, I'm watching this conversation, whether it's on my device or at home, anywhere, on campus. I want to get funded by the university. I'm doing well academically, but I'm still paying out of my own pocket. You know what we call the missing middle. That's why UJ is rising. I don't know what they call it now, but there's a term for it. I understand there's a new term for that. The people that can't fully pay their own fees, but also can't be funded by NSFAS. How do they get funding from the university? I mean, I'm sure there are students out there who don't know where to go, who to contact to get those kind of details or information. What's the first step they need to do there?
Yeah. Look, the university is one of those universities who have invested a lot of money in bursaries, right? Annually, when we prepare the operating budget, the Chief Financial Officer put aside about 200 million to assist students. And this could be your merit bursaries, could be your sports bursaries, could be any other bursary that you can think of that we have categorized within student finance. So there are bursaries that students are required to apply, but if you have a merit bursary, depending on how you performed academically, the system is able to automatically match your academic results, and then we credit your student account automatically without you having to come to our offices as well. There are those bursaries that are offered by the faculties. There are those ones that are offered by the postgraduate school. Yeah. And there's lots of pockets internally for those students who are struggling financially. But what we have done, as well as I've indicated that I'm also responsible for the fundraising unit, we have also said that we will put aside 20 million for the we call it SRC Trust Fund. So we assist you with the registration fee. That will pay your registration fee. If you are residing in one of the UJ residences, we also pay for the UJ residents as well. Then we make a commitment to say, for those students who are performing academically, we will go and seek funding outside. And we have been successful. I don't know if you know, we've had this initiative that we call 3 billion in 3 years.
Yes, I know.
We started in 2022, and then by 2025, we have already met the target of 3 billion, raising $1 billion each and every year. That billion that we raise every year, almost 40% of that goes to scholarships, which is bursaries. Yeah. Then we go back to those students and allocate funding for those students. And obviously, the need is growing for funding, right? We are able to pay for some students, but there are those students that we are not able to pay. But we don't put them aside and say, you are responsible. We always make means to get those students to at least complete their qualifications as well. So there's lots of opportunities for those students who are seeking funding.
Mr. Matukane, this finance issue is a very, very big issue amongst everyone, whether you're a parent, a student here, or a prospective student looking to enter UJ and you want to get access to bursaries and stuff like that. I think we should take it further in another episode or another platform. It's a very big debate that we need. But I called you here because you run Comrades Marathon as well. Yeah. Recently, you ran the 2025 Comrades in KZN. That 90-kilometer stretch from Pietermaritzburg to the city of Durban there. Are you a religious runner? Let me put it that way. So from finance to the track.
Yeah. So a lot of people will normally say we are addicted to running, but to answer you specifically, I love running. Right. I think I started at a junior age where I was a bit young, 14 or so. So I used to play soccer and run, right?
From school?
From school
days,
and all that. And then there was a time I focused in soccer, and then soccer, I got an injury. I was like, no more soccer. Yeah. Then I started running. And then initially when I started, it was just that jog. You know, you do 5 kilometers, you come back home, that's it, right? And as you grow up, the need for you to be physically fit, mentally and physically as well, just grew as well. And then I realized that there was that feeling every time you run, you know, when you come back, you are okay, your mind is sharp, basically. You know, you feel energized, you feel like you can tackle any problems that comes your way and all that. And then I started, you know, developing more interest in running. And then I also, you know, started joining races, right? Where either you can do a 10 kilometers or a 21 or, you know, a full marathon, which is your 42 kilometers. Then the passion grew, you know. And then I still remember that, you know, in 2013, I said to myself, 2015, I need to start running Comrades. And that's where the journey began.
And you've done 8 so far.
And that's when the journey began. But I think one thing I want to say, Colin, is that between 2013 and 2015, I needed a lot of motivation for me to run. The 90 kilometers, it's an unforgiving 90 kilometers. You know, you run 42, by the time you get to the finish, you are finished, literally. Yeah. So if you multiply that by 2, you can imagine, ran in a day, right? And for me, you know, every time I thought about it, I was like, how do they do it? You know, and then you start drawing motivation from a lot of people. As I've indicated, I'm from the village. There was this uncle of mine who used to run Comrades religiously. You know, every year he goes to Comrades. And I could see him training every year. So then I started speaking to him and said, but what is so special about you running Comrades? And then he started explaining and all that. It's like a personal triumph when you run Comrades. No one will understand except you. You're testing your resilience. you're testing your threshold to pain, you're testing your mental fitness as well and all that.
And all that to achieve that personal fulfillment.
To achieve that personal fulfillment. So then I started reading a bit about Comrades, right? Just to understand for me, why these Comrades and all that. Then I think there was a documentary, which I went through it, you know. So by the way, Comrades started in 1921, right? Yeah. And a lot of people always ask, but why the name Comrades Marathon and so forth? Then when you read that, when you watch that documentary, it talks about how Comrades was started, right? It was started by a former World War veteran, you know, and his name is Vic Chapman. So what he was doing, he wanted to run in honor of all the comrades, the fallen comrades during the World War. And then he started speaking to government to say, I want to do this race. And every time he went there to government, they said, no, you are crazy. You can't do 90 kilometers. And finally in 1921, they approved that he can do the race, and obviously all those risks taken into consideration. That's when it started. And when it started, by the way, females were not allowed to run the race. Yeah. Black people were not allowed to run the race as well. They started about, I think the first cohort that ran was like 34. Yeah. And if you look at this year, we had 22,000 people who are running Comrades and so forth. So I read about that history and so forth. I said to myself, I need to be part of that group that runs Comrades. So then I started running in 2015, completed within the 12 hours. My second race, which was a down run, I couldn't finish, you know. And I still remember, so angry to say, but what happened and all that.
So you finished the first one?
I finished the first one.
The second one you couldn't?
The second one I couldn't finish, you know. But I had two choices, give up or go back and try again. And I said to myself, I'm gonna try and train twice as hard to complete. And then 2016 I didn't complete. 2017 I completed. And ever since then, I have been completing my Comrades.
What a time that we're having here in the UJSTH kitchen with our guest, Mr. Mzwakhe Matukane. And of course, UJ is turning 20 years old this year, and we are celebrating this milestone with guests that come here to cook beautiful meals. And of course, Mr. Matukane was our guest today. Sir, your message to UJ, having been at UJ for quite some time, what do you have to say to UJ in celebrating their 20th anniversary? Please speak directly into that camera there.
Thanks. I want to say happy 20-year anniversary to the University of Johannesburg. It's been an interesting journey from 2005 to where we are at the moment. UJ has achieved a lot from being #1 institution in the country on the research units, and also the rankings that we have seen on an annual basis where UJ is climbing. So we are wishing UJ many more years to come and many more successes in this great University of Johannesburg. Happy birthday, UJ.
Happy birthday indeed. And of course, to you, the viewer at home, wherever you could be watching us from, please send us your birthday messages on Facebook, X, and Instagram to wish UJ a happy 20th birthday. And you could stand a chance to win a 2,000 Rand Lucky Star hamper at the end of this cooking series in the second semester. All you need to do is text or record your video message and post it on all the social media platforms using the hashtag UJ Lucky Star Cooking, and you could be the winner. We do the closing, right? Yeah. We do the closing, then we're gonna go into the presentation. Yeah. So, this is all we had for today's show, and thank you so much to our guest, and thanks to you, the viewer, for watching. I hope that you feel inspired to do more, and you will do more going forward after having this hearty conversation with our guest, Mr. Matukane from UJ Revenue Administration. Please share with us your cooking tips and experiences in the comment section. It's always great to cook and enjoy food together. Continue cooking with Lucky Star, and the UJ School of Tourism and Hospitality as you work on your next best thing. Catch another episode of UJ What's Cooking next week, same time, same place. And subscribe to UJTV on YouTube. Follow us on UJ social media platforms at UJ Sport, at Lucky Star STH, and the Center for Ecological Intelligence for sport updates, recipes, and inspiring daily content. Keep cooking with Lucky Star to find joy in the taste of home. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next episode.